The autumn sun hung low over the rolling fields of Lorraine like a reluctant witness, casting long shadows across the scarred earth on September 19, 1944. At precisely 11:03 a.m., Staff Sergeant Frank Thompson, 24 years old, wiry from Pennsylvania steel mill days, his face etched with the grime of 4 months' unyielding combat, crouched in the stifling steel womb of his M4 Sherman's turret near Arracourt, France. The air inside was a toxic stew of cordite residue, sweat-soaked wool, and the faint, acrid tang of hydraulic fluid leaking from the turret ring. 12 tank battles had hardened him, the hedgerow hell of Normandy's bocage, where invisible panzers turned green fields into graveyards, the frantic river crossings of the Seine, where Shermans forded under spitting machine gun fire. But survival? It dangled by a thread. 0 times had his gunner, Sergeant William "Bill" Crawford, a lanky Detroit autoworker with calloused hands and a gambler's cool, spotted the enemy first. Today, intelligence whispered of 47 German Panthers prowling from the 5th Panzer Army's 111th and 113th Panzer Brigades, their sloped hulls and 75mm KWK-42 guns ghosts in the mist-shrouded orchards. Thompson had been Crawford's loader since June 6, D-Day +1, ramming 75mm shells into the M3 cannon's breech with the rhythm of a man cheating death. Each round was a sacrament, armor-piercing for the kill, high-explosive for the chaos, white phosphorus to blind and burn. Their 5-man crew moved as one organism in the 30-ton beast, Lieutenant Harlan, Hank Riley in the cupola, barking azimuths through the intercom's tinny buzz, Private Eddie, Sparks, Malone driving from the bowels, his world a slit of vision through dust-caked glass, while Gunner Corporal Leo, Kid Rossi cradling the .30 caliber cokes like a lover. But the heart of it was the gunner-loader dance. Survival wasn't in the Sherman's sloped front glassy, up to 63mm effective at 55 degrees, or its reliable Wright R-975 radial engine churning at 400 horsepower, it was in seeing the Panther's long gun muzzle flash first. And the Sherman's M19 telescopic sight? A cruel joke. Fixed at 3x magnification with a miserly 21-degree field of view, some variant stretched to 30 degrees, it funneled Crawford's world to a soda straw tunnel. Germans, with their Zeiss Turmzielfernrohr 9B sights, 5x zoom, 26-degree FOV, crystalline clarity, lounged in superiority, spotting Sherman's hull-down in wheat fields from 2,000 yards while sipping coffee from insulated mugs. The 4th Armored Division, Patton Spearhead, the Spearhead Division, with its lightning bolt patch, had bled 23 Shermans in the 3 weeks since crossing the Moselle. Crews vaporized in Ronson fireballs, the nickname for tanks that lit, at the flick of a switch, when a single 75mm round ignited the ready racks. Thompson's ghost started with Corporal David Kozlowski on September 7, a barrel-chested Chicagoan from the South Works Mill, whose easy baritone had echoed through Fort Knox's mock battles. Their training platoon had bonded over stolen packs of Luckies and dreams of post-war Union jobs. Near a tangled tree-line outside Nancy, Kozlowski's Sherman, christened Steel City in faded chalk, crested a rise at 1,300 yards. A Panther from the 111th Brigade, nestled in oak shadows, picked them off through Zeiss lenses. The AP round, traveling at 2,600 feet per second, smashed the turret cheek at a flat trajectory, shearing rivets like confetti. Propellant bags erupted in a thermobaric roar, flames licking 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Kozlowski, heaving a 15-pound shell mid-load, was gone before the scream escaped his lips. Rescuers, faces blackened by smoke, hands blistered, dragged the Hulk 3 hours later, but the loader's remains fused to the melt. Thompson identified him by a melted dog tag and the half-charred photo of his fiancée tucked in his helmet liner. 9 days on, September 16, it was Corporal James "Jimmy" Martinez, Thompson's foxhole brother, a wiry New Mexican from Albuquerque's barrios, who'd washed dishes stateside before enlisting. They'd stormed Omaha Beach together, Martinez's .45 pistol barking at snipers in the bluffs while Thompson covered with suppressing fire from a half-track. Nights in foxholes, they'd schemed a garage empire. You wrench the carbs, Frankie, I'll charm the housewives. Near the Bocage's labyrinthine Beazles woods, hedges 10 feet thick, roots like tank traps, Martinez's Sherman tangled with 3 Panthers from the 113th. They bagged one at 1,100 yards, the 75 mm 600 foot-pound muzzle energy cracking the glassy at point-blank odds. Victory soured as a second Panther, its Maybach HL-230 engine purring at 700 horsepower, flanked through a gap in the earthen dikes at 900 yards. The side shot, a mere 38 mm plate, crumpled like foil. The round clipped Martinez as he yanked an AP from the wet storage rack, the impact's shockwave pulping him against the breech. Contact right. Flank. Riley's intercom wail came too late. 2 days later, Martinez's commander, Captain Elias Eli Thorne, a Harvard dropout with a perpetual squint, found Thompson chain-smoking under a tarpaulin. Thorne's voice broke like brittle ice. 3 seconds, Frank. If we'd pivoted 3 goddamn seconds sooner. Jimmy'd be razzying you about that garage scam. Tears carved white furrows through the mud on his cheeks. He gripped Thompson's shoulder, a silent pact amid the rain-slicked mud. By mid-September, 11 loaders haunted Thompson's ledger, each felled by the same calculus. German optics pierced the fog at 1,500 yards, granting 10 to 15 seconds to traverse their electric-hydraulic turrets, faster than the Sherman's hand-cranked manual, and loose tungsten-core APCR rounds. American grit filled the gap, crews buttoned up, firing on the move at 25 miles per hour, but optics were the equalizer denied. The 75 mm M3 could gut a Panther frontally at 500 yards with HVAP saboed rounds, if you had supply lagged, but spotting? That was the Widowmaker. Thompson pored over salvaged maps by carbide lamp, tracing ambush vectors, Panthers hull down in reverse slope positions, using Lorraine's chalky gullies for cover, their interleaved Schachtelhoffwerk tracks devouring mud without bogging. Crawford was elite, instinct honed on factory floors, traversing 360 degrees in 15 seconds flat, but 30 degrees? A blinkered horse in a stampede. Desperation crystallized on September 18, amid resupply at a bombed-out farmhouse, a 3x4-inch shaving mirror from his issue kit, its polished glass a shard of civilian normalcy. Mounted inside, angled to pipe rear flank views to Crawford's eye line, no head swivel, no lost seconds. Per FM 17-15, it was sabotage, unauthorized alterations to sighting equipment punishable by court-martial. But Kozlowski's tag jingled in his pocket, Martinez's ghost whispered from the dark. Thompson couldn't etch a 12th name. Tonight, under the harvest moon, he'd bolted home. Dawn's verdict, edge or exile. The maintenance logger, a ragged crescent of 18 Shermans under camouflage netting, scarred by weld burns and gouged tracks, hushed after 2,200 hours. Lorraine's September bite carried wood smoke from distant farmsteads and the rot of trampled beets. Thompson's breath plumed white as he ghosted from his pup tent. Crickets rasped a indifferent chorus, a sentry's M1 Garand clacked distant patrol. His tool bag, olive-drab canvas frayed at the seams, clinked softly, aviation snips for wire, needle-nose pliers from a wrecked radio set, 6-inch steel leader from a dud 37 mm AP, and the flashlight's beam, dim as a dying star, batteries rationed to 20 minutes nightly. 50 yards to Liberty Bell, their Sherman, hull pocked by shrapnel dimples, the sagging .50 cal on the cupola like a weary sentinel. He palmed the loader's hatch, rubber seals cracked from overuse, dropping into the turret with a muffled thud. Claustrophobia hit like a wave, 5 feet of headroom, walls ribbed with ammo bins, 34 fixed rounds, 42 loose in bins, the .55 caliber cokes dangling like a scorpion's tail. Flashlight danced over the M1919A4 machine gun mount, the fire extinguisher's red bulb dulled by soot, Crawford's seat, canvas sling imprinted with his frame. Hands steadying against the chill, not fear, he lied to himself. Thompson test-mounted the mirror. Eye-line critical, 12 inches left of the gun sight, 45-degree cant to catch the loader's port reflection, rear arcs, left flank blind spots where Panthers loved to lurk. Too high, it drowned in the commander's bustle rack. Too low, it fouled the recoil arc, the gun kicked 30 inches rearward per shot. He snipped 4 U-brackets from the wire, each bent double with plier bites, then hand-drilled into the 1.5-inch turret wall, the brace's HSS bit whining like a Stuka dive, shavings curling like brass casings. Pauses stretched eternal, ears pricked for MP boots on gravel, heart hammered against ribs. 40 minutes of profane ballet, fingers numbed, pliers skating on sweat, flashlight tumbling twice into the hull with a betraying clatter. Secure it, wire twists vice-tight, vice-grip tested. From Crawford's perch, Thompson peered, gun sight for frontal duels, reticle stadia lines for 400 to 1,200 yard ranging, mirror flick, a 3-second scan, for the 6 o'clock shadow. Flawless. Crude as a latrine scrawl, but it piped the world beyond. He vacuumed shavings with a sock, no traces for inspection, exfiltrated at 0130, boots silent on dew-slick grass. Bunk-bound, sleep fled, instead, Martinez's laugh looped, Lowski's phantom grip on a wrench. Dawn or doom? Engine snarled awake at 0615, the battalion, a steel serpent of 37th Tank Battalion under Lieutenant Colonel Creighton Abrams' iron fist, coiling for the push. Abrams, 30, West Point 36, a 6 feet 2 inches dynamo with a gambler's grin and Patton's audacity, had forged the 37th into a blitzkrieg blade, 54 Shermans, aggressive probes, no quarter. By 0712, Liberty Bell lumbered east, 12 miles to the anvil, tracks gnashing limestone, engine bellowing through 5 forward gears. Thompson amid his arsenal, 18 AP, M72, 6.3 kilograms warhead, 20 He, M48, fragmentation hell, 10 WP, smoke veils, 18 HVAP, tungsten rarebirds for Panthers, racked in splinter-proof bins. The column snaked 2 miles through quilted farmland, golden stubble from scythed wheat, deceptive treelines of poplar and hawthorn, perfect panther hides, northern Vosges foothills cloaked in fog. Ambushes bloomed here, Germans buttoned in hull-down reveries, waiting for the 400-yard kill box. 0843, Riley's earpiece crackled, lead platoon, 2nd Lieutenant Virgil Kane's Thunderbolt, spotting 6 Panthers at 2,000 yards through the morning haze. Hull down, ridge line. Range extreme, hold fire. Abrams vectored from his command EZ-8, a upgunned M4A3E8 with 76 mm wet storage. The battalion diamond out, bell nosing behind a 10-foot chalk ridge, glassy buried to the bogey springs. Riley's cupola periscope swept 360, traverse left 45, nothing in sight. Crawford cranked the handwheel, gears groaning, smoke from last night's pipe still curling. Thompson slammed AP home, the breech's hydraulic ram clanging shut, shoulder tap, up. Pulse thundering, palms slick on the lugs. 0907, Riley's azimuth, target, 1,800 yards, bearing 320. Crawford's trigger yanked. Boom, muzzle flash blinding, recoil shuddering the 32-ton frame, brass arcing hot to the hull floor. Eject, grab, ram, 6 seconds, lungs burning in propellant haze. Then, intercom gold, Crawford, monotone as a weatherman, Panther, left rear, 800 yards, flanking the ridge. Thompson's bowels iced. Left flank, 38 mm side plate, a Panther's wet dream at that range. But no commander cue, no frantic traverse. Crawford's eye had flicked the mirror, 3 seconds of reflected treachery, the Panther's Maybach growl, its turret cheek glinting as it prowled the dead ground. Turret spun 90 degrees in 12 seconds. Through Thompson's port, the beast exposed, 44 tons loping at 15 miles per hour across stubble, crew oblivious in their leather-padded seats. Arrogance. Crawford's first round, HVAP, if lucky, shredded the left bogie, interleaved wheels splintering, 26 road wheel suspension locking like a sprained ankle. The Panther slewed, KWK-42 traversing slow, electric motor taxed in mud, its gunner cursing through the humid fug. Reload frenzy, Thompson's arms blurred, shell seeding with a satisfying thunk. 7 seconds total, second shot kissed the turret's 50mm mantlet weld, penetration blooming in a jet of spall and flame. Hatches flew, 5 figures, gray uniforms, MP-40s slung, bolted for the ditch, one clutching a scorched arm. Pyre claimed the 6th. Riley's whoop pierced the din, Jesus, Bill, how? That flank was ghosted. Crawford, wiping brow, mirror trick, sir. Peripheral ping. No probe, foxholes deeper. The clash churned 40 minutes, Arracourt's first blood, Bell's crew tagged 2 more, 1 turret roof shot at 600 yards, AP ricocheting into the engine deck, Battalion 3 others via coordinated fire, Abrams, Firefly, tactic, bait and flank. Germans recoiled, abandoning 7 hulks amid smoldering wheat, 262 total losses in the 2-week grind, per after actions. U.S., 2 Shermans mobility killed, tracks blown, towed by M4 dozers, 0 Kia. Air support, P-47 Thunderbolts from the 405th Fighter Group, had strafed the retreat, .50 cal ripping interleaved wheels. Maintenance return, oil slick mud sucking at tracks, crews spilling out like sardines. Crawford pinned Thompson by the fender, calloused finger on the mirror's wire cradle. Last night? Thompson nodded, voice gravel, 40 minutes. Wire from a dud. Illegal? Yeah. But Jimmy, he'd have hated me folding. Crawford's eyes, storm gray, softened, that cat had our number. Side shot at 800? We're ash. Now, every bird in the flock. Wingman first, Hayes owes you. A clasp, unspoken oath. Sergeant Robert Bobby Hayes, Crawford's shadow, a stocky Minnesotan with frostbitten ears from Anzio, had lost his loader, PFC Tommy Riley, no kin, 3 weeks prior. Flank hit near Ponte Mausen, Panther round gutted the sponson, Riley's screams cut short in the blaze, Hayes dragged out with third-degree burns on his palms, skin sloughing like wet paper. His greenhorn, Private First Class Mickey O'Brien, 18, Ohio dairy kid with freckles and a street Christopher medal, trembled at shadows. Evening demo in Bell, Hayes testsat, mirror framing the loggers' pickets. Magic, he breathed. Post 2300, under a sickle moon, they jury-rigged, 35 minutes, drills whine muffled by a rag. Oh yeah? Hayes pressed, peeling a Hershey bar. Breathe, Thompson grunted. That's the tab. Dawn's rematch near Moncourt, September 20's fog-shrouded probe, Hayes's frostbite dueled 4 Panthers from the 106th Panzer Brigade. Mirror whisper, 2 flankers called at 1,000 yards, O'Brien loading like a fiend, first blood, a turret ring kill, Spall scything the German loader. Hayes stormed back, evangelizing, eyes aft, it's biblical. Skeptics, like Lieutenant Gus, Doubter, Klein, a Brooklynite scorning, Yankee voodoo, thawed by beer rations. Thompson grafted 3 nocturnally, pliers biting, backs aching, 2 more next eve. September 25, 14 mirrored, Thompson a hollow-eyed wraith on 4-hour scraps amid daylight track splices. Abrams clocked the Delta, pre-mirror, 2:1 losses, post, 5:1 kills. Crews divined ambushes like shamans, reversing before the trap sprang. September 27's ritual, Abrams prowls, 6 feet 2 inches frame folding into cupolas, cigar chomped raw, unveiling the heresy in Bell. This gewgaw? Eyes like augers on Thompson. Crawford interjected, flank fix, sir. Saved our hides twice, Arracourt, Moncourt. Abrams migrated, Hayes's, Klein's, ubiquitous. You, Sergeant? Thompson rigid, aye, sir. 14. Salvage wire, no chit. Leftovers? 23, sir. Abrams' grin cracked, Patton-esque fire, 48 hours. All birds. Order. I'll choke the clerks. Sanction, Thompson's noose dissolved, Abrams buried it in a tactical expedient memo, crediting crew initiative. Nocturnal forge, Thompson apprenticed 3 mechanics, PFC, Sparky, Jenkins, Radio Whiz, Corporal, Iron Mike, Kowalski, Welder, drills chorusing till 0400. September 29th, 37th complete, mirrors winking like conspirators. Arracourt's crescendo, 18 to 29 September, 5th Panzer's 262 tanks/assault guns, Panthers, IVs, Stoogie 3s, versus 4th Armored's 270 Shermans, shattered precedents. Fog, rain, visibility 200 yards, mud, tracks mired axle deep, yet Yanksfeld 86 Axis AFVs, 86 confirmed, per Ultra intercepts, losing 25 Shermans. Abrams 37th, 25 kills, 7 losses. Germans reeled, Americaner saying UNS Common, logs wailed, flanks pierced, pursuits aborted. Thunderbolts, 500 sorties, and artillery, 155 mm long toms, amplified, but mirrors? The unseen edge. Ripple, 6th Armored, Kentucky Wildcats, spied during Nancy resupply, Crew Chief Sergeant Harlan, Hawk, Fletcher poaching Thompson's blueprint. 10th, 3rd Armored cascaded. Abrams dispatched to 3rd Army G3, visibility augmentation yields 3:1 superiority, recommend universal. Patton, 6-foot firebrand, ivory-handled revolvers, devoured at October 1st, install forthwith, every goddamn tin can. By October 15th, 300+ mirrored, wire scavenged from fences, glass from shattered Meuse bridges. Germans autopsied hulks, Zeiss expert scoffing at Rasierspiegel vanities, until December realizations, Rücksichtige Beobachtung ermöglicht. Too late, flanks failed, Panthers, still superior, 80 mm frontal, 3,000-yard gun, shunned parity. November's Inquisition, Ordnance Trio, Major Elias, Pencil, Hargrove, Captain Theo Lang, MIT Optics Ph.D., civilians Drs. Miriam Voss and Elias Grant, dissected at 4th HQ's Quonset. 3 days, theodolites on angles, optimal 42 to 48 degrees, crew polls, 92%, game changer, Sims in a gutted Sherman, traverse unchanged. Should have been TO Day 1, Voss decreed. Mandate, Detroit's Fisher Tank Arsenal etching mirror standard, M19A1 variant, polished Pyrex, retrofits via 90-day overhauls. But gloss, patents to ordnance sighting augment, Hargrove's byline. Thompson. Erased. Abrams thundered addendums, Corporal Thompson originator, drowned in triplicate. December's gut punch, Thompson, oversee rations, shrugged, install M. Ghosts don't care for glory. January 1945, 800+ fitted, Bulges Ardennes blizzard testing. Bell foiled 4 lurks, King Tigers near Bastogne, their 88 mm Pak 43 yawning, mirror ping saving reloads. Crews echoed, O'Brien's first kill, a Stug 3 at 700 yards, Klein's Doubter, conversion in a snowblind brawl. Vets assumed OEM, Elders toasted, September's sin. VE, May 8, Czechoslovakia Spruce Wilds, engines stilled, Abrams 37th tally, 11 months, 300 engagements, 100+ kills. Crawford to Detroit, factory whistle, Vera the bride, sons Tom and Billy, crew snap enshrined, Thompson grease-daubed. Annual right, September 19th dial, Frankie, you forged my ticket home. Shells, Bill. Just shells. Thompson 46 muster, Pittsburgh's Homestead Works, 32 years ladling Bessemer pores, pre-war echo, arms corded from 75mm lifts. 48, Ellen the nurse, daughters Sarah, bookish, and Ruth, tomboy. Garage alchemy, carburetes, no boasts. War query. Loader. Rolled with the 4th. Hayes, Ohio chalkboards, Ingenuity's edge, sans names. 60s obsolescence, M60 Pattons with xenon sights eclipsed, Sherman's rust in boneyards. Tomes lauded, Ordnance optics, Thompson's footnote. 92 exhumation, Dr. Lena Hart, NARA archivist, unearths 37th logs, Staff Sergeant Thompson, mirror expedient. Crawford's oral history, Martinez's pyre lit the fuse. Thompson, 74, oil-fingered, 200 to 300 spared. Maths fuzzy. Faces sharp as glass. 94 Armor Review, 2000 souls stirred. Notes, Commanders, Weiss breathed, Grail, Loader's chain, your wire saved my boy's dad, Curator's plea, denied, Duffel's void. 96 Pilgrimage, Crawford's Buick from Motown, 40 years, silt. Garage Vigil, 6 hours, Normandy Surf, Arracourt Thunder, What Ifs, for Jimmy. Medals? Bureaucrats buried, M. Your Flesh, Bill. March 14, 2003, 84, Cardiac Whisper quits mid-garage hum. Obit Stark, 4th Armored Tanker. Right Spare, Kin, Mill Mates. Strangers Linger, Mirror Vets, Sergeant Harlan Fletcher, 6th, Loader Corporal Theo, Wire, Grant, Newsletters drawn. Daughters Dawn, Rule Defier, Life Weaver. Echoes, Nara Folios, Knox's Sherman, Turret Ghost, 3x4 Pyrex, Wire Cradle, Plaque, Field Improv, 1944-45. 600 to 800 units, EST 250 souls. Thompson's Forge, War's Alchemy, Grunt's Grit over Brass Polish. One Loader's Heresy, 40 minutes sweat, refracted an army's gaze. From Crawford's cradle to Legion's lives. In Giants' Clash, a shard's gleam bent fate. Frank Thompson mended men, rules be damned. And therein, history gleamed true.